You know, the whole world of a K-pop idol is built on this foundation of immense pressure and, honestly, a perfect public image. But what happens when that carefully built world gets rocked? Not by something they did, but by a scandal caused by their own sibling. Well, today, we're diving deep into that very question.
In the K-pop industry, an idol's public persona isn't just an act. It's everything. It's meticulously crafted, fiercely protected. Every single word, every action is put under a microscope. Having a pristine, nearly perfect image isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a flat-out requirement for success. So what happens when that spotless facade gets shattered by someone they can't control, like a brother or a sister? The consequences can be absolutely devastating. We're going to break down 4 really high-profile cases where the actions of a sibling created a massive crisis for a star we all know.
All right, first up, we're starting with what is by far the most tragic case. It involves the brother of the acclaimed actress Hyojoo and a truly devastating incident that happened during his mandatory military service.
Okay, so this timeline really shows just how rapid and tragic the decline of Private Kim Ji-hoon was. He enlists in February 2013, a bright university student with his whole life ahead of him. By June, under the command of Lieutenant Han, the actress's brother, he was diagnosed with a severe mental health condition because of harassment. Just a couple of days later, after a really harsh punishment, he tragically took his own life. And maybe the most shocking part of all, his family wasn't even told for almost 3 weeks.
The investigation by the military police, well, it painted a really grim picture. This was not a one-time thing. Lieutenant Han was apparently known for this kind of behavior. The report said he buried Private Kim under an impossible amount of work and then punished him when he couldn't keep up. The nonstop stress and humiliation were a direct cause of his deteriorating mental state.
And the fallout from this was just immense. The Air Force got accused of trying to cover things up, changing the classification of Private Kim's death and basically stonewalling his family. Public anger then turned towards Hyojoo herself. A press release about her rescuing an animal, which came out right as this case exploded, was seen by a lot of people as a cynical attempt to distract the media. And then there was this bizarre thing with the search keywords, which only made people more suspicious that someone powerful was trying to bury the story.
Our next case, this one ties into one of the biggest scandals to ever hit the South Korean entertainment industry, the Burning Sun scandal. We're talking nightclubs, prostitution, secret videos, the whole shebang. And this is the story of Kwon Hyuk-jun, the older brother of Girls' Generation member Yuri, and his role in all of it.
So, when his name first popped up in the investigation, Kwon Hyuk-jun immediately went on the defensive. He insisted he was innocent, claiming the only group chats he was a part of were for his restaurant business. He said he had nothing to do with any of the criminal stuff. But, you know, the prosecution saw things very, very differently.
Prosecutors didn't just disagree with his claims of innocence. No, they demanded a prison sentence that absolutely shocked the public.
Yep, 10 years. That was the heaviest sentence they sought for any of the men involved, and it made one thing crystal clear. His initial denial had completely fallen apart. He was convicted for his part in filming and sharing explicit videos without consent, and a later documentary revealed even more disturbing details about a trip where women's drinks were allegedly spiked.
In the end, his sentence was reduced to 4 years in prison. After his conviction, he changed his name and pretty much vanished from public life. For his sister Yuri and their family, the only way forward was to completely cut him off, rightfully distancing themselves from his horrific actions.
Now for our third case, we're stepping into some much murkier territory. This one involves unverified but very disturbing allegations against Kim Jong-hoon, who is the older brother of BLACKPINK's Jisoo.
So this whole controversy started with an anonymous post on a workplace platform called Blind. A woman, claiming to be a victim, alleged that Kim Jong-un had secretly recorded an intimate encounter. In her post, she talked about how traumatized she felt and claimed he had even shown the footage to his friends and bragged about having videos of other women.
His response was swift and absolute. He spoke to the press and categorically denied
everything. He said the accusations were completely false and that he was already getting ready to take legal action against what he called baseless rumors. And this is where things get really difficult, and it's so important to stress this. Nothing has been proven. What we have are allegations on one side and flat-out denials on the other. The original post was deleted, and as of right now, there's no official conclusion, which leaves everything just hanging in this state of uncertainty.
All right, let's move to our final case, which is, well, it's a little different. This isn't about a crime. This is about a deep ethical controversy over the legacy of the late, beloved idol Sulli and the actions of her brother after her tragic passing.
So on the anniversary of Sulli's death, her brother posted a tribute that included a photo of Charlie Kirk, an American conservative commentator. To her fans, this pairing was just shocking, because their public platforms could not be more different. Sulli was an outspoken feminist, she challenged social norms, she supported the LGBTQ community. Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, is a known critic of modern feminism and has been associated with anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. It just didn't make sense.
And the reaction from the public, especially her fans? It was just a feeling of betrayal and disgust. This comment here really captures that sentiment perfectly. Fans felt that her brother was aligning her memory with the exact same kind of ideology, often tied to misogynistic online groups that fueled the harassment she had to endure her entire career. And instead of backing down, he somehow made it worse. In the comments, he started making these bizarre and just factually incorrect claims that Sulli didn't support the LGBTQ community and that Charlie Kirk was a feminist. He was essentially trying to rewrite his sister's entire legacy to fit his own views, a narrative she was tragically no longer here to defend.
So after looking at these four very, very different cases, one single powerful theme starts to emerge: the truly unfair burden that fame can place on a person when their family members are the ones causing the controversy.
What we've seen here is this powerful ripple effect. From a military tragedy and a major criminal conviction, all the way to unverified rumors and a fight over a star's memory, these idols were unwillingly dragged into crises that had nothing to do with their own choices, yet deeply impacted their public image and their careers. And all of this leaves us with a really tough final question. Should a star be held accountable for what their sibling does? I mean, it's easy to just say no, of course not. But the court of public opinion is rarely that simple, is it? Where do we draw the line between family connection and individual accountability? It's a complicated issue, and there are definitely no easy answers.